First and foremost, it just revealed the kind of character that we have. The toughness, the relentless spirit, the flexibility.
Welcome back to the WNBA Nova. Today's story is taking yet another unexpected turn, with new developments grabbing the attention of WNBA fans everywhere. From surprising claims to strong reactions, the conversation surrounding the situation is growing bigger by the minute. Music. So, what's really happening? Has the story reached a major turning point, and what could happen next? Stay with me until the very end, because we're breaking down the key details, the latest reactions, and everything you need to know. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get straight into today's big story. It's finished. The project as a whole is now on the edge of a catastrophic system-wide collapse. While those in command are handing the arsonists matches and pouring gasoline onto the fire, by far, this is no longer just about a game. This is about an open, antagonistic, and completely indisputable uprising developing within the WNBA. Caitlin Clark's song is a civil war against its own redemption, golden ticket, and last chance. This internal conflict has now produced its first high-profile deserter and public casualty. They forced a coach to resign. She shouldn't quit her job, because that would be far too easy and tidy. They made a well-known, accomplished head coach give up on the supporters, the public square, and even the concept of accountability, because the unvarnished, unadulterated truth that hundreds of thousands of new fans were screaming became too loud for the collapsing establishment to ignore. This is a five-alarm code red fire. This is a real-time example of a complete system breakdown. And what we are seeing is the public application of common sense aired live to the entire world. The so-called experts in the mainstream sports media, who have financial incentives to defend the league, are deliberately misleading you. They're saying things like, "This is just rookie treatment," and giving you pitiful, patronizing phrases. They are attempting to persuade you that this is simply welcome to the league's physicality. The fans, the real people who are genuinely funding this league for the first time in its troubled history, are shouting the truth from the rooftops of the internet because it is an abhorrent, obvious lie. And at last, the carefully built wall of quiet and denial has been breached by their cries and their rightful indignation. The head coach of Connecticut Sun, the league's unbeaten top team, Stephanie White, just learned what happens when you engage in the league's dirty little secret and are discovered. Her team, which was excellent, faced the Indiana Fever. Naturally, they used ridiculous, superfluous, and even dangerous physicality when targeting Caitlin Clark. It appears to be the only strategy anyone has against her. It's the unwritten memo for the entire league. Beat her up if you can't outsmart her. Hick-check her into the third row if you are unable to outshoot her. It's a tactic that prioritizes brutality above skill, but this time was unique. This time the response went beyond a few minor grievances. The flood was biblical. The Caitlin Clark fanbase unleashed a tidal wave of unadulterated wrath, a fanbase that currently serves as the WNBA's whole clientele. They've had enough of watching the league's best player treated like a human piñata, game after game after game. The screen is filled with a fast-paced, disorienting collage of social media remarks. Display YouTube responses, Instagram comments, and tweets aimed at Stephanie White and the Connecticut Sun's official accounts. Messages are highlighted and usernames are displayed. Shameful? This isn't basketball. Keep your stars safe. Their remarks were harsh. They were relentless. They showed no mercy at all. You should feel guilty because your team plays filthy basketball. Is this a targeted attack or basketball? The league must look into this. You're just another bigot. Another coach who's envious of a 22-year-old sensation who possesses more talent than your entire squad put together. It continued for several hours, a digital army of supporters who can clearly see what the media players and league office are unable to see, that they are deliberately attempting to injure, dehumanize, and physically and psychologically destroy the one individual who has the potential to make this league significant on a worldwide level. And how did this public outcry turn out when the truth was exposed for everyone to see? What happened? Stephanie White was unable to handle it. It was too much pressure. The reality was too harmful. Her X account was erased. She gave up. She had no defense. So she fled the conversation. She is not justified. There is no way to defend what is taking place. This goes beyond a coach deciding to log off after receiving some hurtful tweets. This is a fundamental flaw in the WNBA as a whole. The very supporters that her league so pitifully needs to exist publicly humiliated the head coach of an unbeaten team and drove her into virtual exile. The entire paying public has cast a gigantic vote of no confidence in this. This is the audience standing up and telling the WNBA straight out that they recognize the plot. The jealousy is evident. We will not tolerate the coordinated onslaught. If you ruin your own product, we won't pay. The league, the coaches, the veteran players, and the organization as a whole have all contributed to the toxic, hostile, and dangerous environment that exists not only for Caitlin Clark on the court, but also for anyone who's thought to be a member of the old guard that so obviously despises her. They've cultivated a resentful us versus them mindset, and now it's blowing up in their faces in the most dramatic and visible way possible. They genuinely believed they could stew the story. They severely miscalculated the strength of the people, believing that they could use ESPN's media mouthpieces to spin this as normal and deceive the millions of new viewers. The direct emotional and monetary commitment that millions of new admirers have in Caitlin Clark was severely undervalued. This is no longer only a sporting problem. It's a full-fledged cultural battle. It's a revolt against a weak, insecure establishment that would sooner destroy the entire house than acknowledge that she is greater and more significant than all of them put together because it is so afraid of a transcendent superstar. Visual, a high-definition, slow-motion video of Chindi Carter's egregious foul on Clark keeps playing. Next, a slow-motion video of Tiara McCowan's risky hip check is shown. Overlay the pictures with bold red lettering. This isn't basketball, it's a targeted attack. Let's be bluntly, horribly, and utterly clear. What we witness every night is not basketball. It's a well-planned campaign of physical intimidation that is actively supported by the repulsive envy of seasoned players who can't abide that a rookie is receiving all the attention they were never able to, as well as implicitly approved by the league office's dead silence. They don't work in tandem with her. They attack her. She is not boxed out by them. When the referees aren't looking, they push her to the ground. What about the referees? They have either received their marching orders from higher up, are completely incompetent, or are complicit in this effort. No other rational reason exists. Everybody has witnessed it on a daily basis, the off-ball shoves, the cheap shots, the persistent cripping and grabbing. It is indisputable. People like Stephanie White are the ones who enable it, and it is a shame to the sport. Like every other coach this season, her strategy is based on a single pitiful concept. Caitlin Clark should be physically punished until she breaks. She was unable to confront the song when the paying clients and fans confronted her about it. She bolted. She ended the discussion. That's an admission of guilt, right there. It is the most pivotal point in the whole farce that is taking place. It demonstrates that they are aware of the wrongness, filth, and indefensibility of what they are doing. They simply never would have imagined that such a sizable and fervent fan base would hold them responsible for it. They believed that the opinions of the people could not affect their small, isolated world. The gates have been breached, though. The financial ramifications of this organized attempt at self-sabotage are going to be incredibly terrifying for all parties concerned, and the flood is here. Visual, a potent split screen. On one side, thousands of people wearing Clark jerseys fill an entirely sold-out arena for an Indiana Fever game. Conversely, archived video from a previous season shows a half-empty WNBA arena calm and lifeless. Remembering the realities of this league only 6 months ago is important. In essence, the WNBA was a charity case, playing in front of friends, family, and a small group of devoted supporters. It was a league supported by the NBA for decades, a financial black hole that was losing money every year. It was a specialized product with no appeal to the general public. Then Caitlin Clark, a lady, showed up. She quickly turned into a one-woman economic stimulus package for the entire collapsing organization. The league's ticket costs have increased by more than 200%. On certain nights, viewership figures are surpassing those of the NBA and NHL, shattering previous records. Her jersey went on to become the best-selling draft pick jersey in sports history, regardless of the sport, male or female. After decades of complaints, she persuaded the league to eventually accept charter flights for all teams because she alone brought in so much money and attention. She is an economic miracle all by herself. She would be wrapped in industrial-grade bubble wrap by any rational company, any firm with even a tiny bit of brain or a fundamental survival instinct. They would insist that referees treat her as if she were a precious national asset. Every advertising campaign, TV commercial, every social media post would revolve around her. They would make her the league's unchallenged, unrepentant face and challenge anyone to do otherwise. However, what has the WNBA accomplished? The complete opposite. They've let their angry, envious players use her as a punching bag every night. The biggest names in the league, the so-called veterans, have gone on podcasts and interviews to disparage her, gripe about her, and stoke hostility rather than bringing her gift baskets and expressing gratitude for their increased significance and higher salaries. Out of sheer, pitiful, unadulterated jealousy, they are deliberately contaminating their own water supply. In the annals of contemporary sports, it is the most spectacular and astounding act of institutional self-destruction. After receiving a lottery ticket worth billions of dollars, they all agree to set it on fire. For a moment, picture the NBA in the 1980s deciding that Michael Jordan was becoming too well known. What would have happened if David Stern had let the bad boy Pistons' brutal, unethical practices go unpunished and eventually forced Jordan out of the league? The NBA would not have survived. In the annals of sports history, it would be a forgotten footnote. The WNBA is currently perched on just that precipice. They are deliberately choosing to be the Detroit Pistons, and they are living their Michael Jordan moment. The entire league is full of executives, coaches, players, and others who would prefer to govern over a kingdom of ashes than see the legitimate ascension of a new queen.